I really can't believe that worked out as well as it did. This is a super stealthy setup. So it does look pretty good from here, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Of course, we have to check it out from the outside. I think the coast looks clear. From here, it could be fairly obvious what's going on. But from the main road out here, I'll just, after this truck here, check things out. And that is awesome. I think should be a fairly uninterrupted night. Oh, good to sit down, good to sit down. I'm putting a lot of faith in these knots because under the hammock there's a 2x4 stake in the ground, which wouldn't be pleasant. But it's time for a step two. When I was stuck in Kamloops, a local guy there, a really good guy, Miles, came out to visit me, and actually he brought me some step twos. This is one of them, locally brewed, Iron Road, Lincoln Pin German Pilsner. So that's just the type I like. And it's just about time for that. Step number 2. Pick that up. Oh yeah, that's really good. There's a cap. I don't want to add to any more of this litter around here. I've headed up the hill here to do some cooking because I don't want to cook right in the campsite if there could be wildlife around. And I don't want to use the flashlight where there might be people around. So this works out just fine. Really easy, basic, straightforward soup tonight. It's going to be cabbage and corned beef. There's a Mr. Bill McNeil who inspired me to give this recipe a try. So what I'm using, I just got this bag of coleslaw mix, and it's got carrots and stuff in there too. A couple of kinds of coleslaw. My bag was pretty full, and I got my prep stuff minimal. No giant pepper mill today. So pretty much what I'm looking at is broth, some thyme, garlic, corned beef, cabbage, and some fresh baked buns. And that should be just great. Got my toothpaste tube of garlic. Not to get it confused with toothpaste, because that would present an issue. One of these little butter portions. I wonder what it would be like to camp without traffic noise beside me all the time. Cabbage in there. Might not throw a whole chunk. Pick that up later. I'm sure I'm supposed to chop it up or something, but we work with what we've got out here. That boiled down nicely. Thank you, Mr. Tom. You did a good job today. And I just got deli corned beef. That should do the job. Camping, right? Carve it up into some pieces. It's all right. A lot of traffic out there still, but it is certainly time for soup. Oh, that actually smells pretty good. Let me just show what I created. Your cabbage, corned beef, typical thing. I don't know. Should be all right. Let's see. Tangy. Not bad though. A few more spices would have helped, but got some fresh baked buns somewhere here. Right on. So, the situation with the trip to BC, a lot of people are wondering about it. And yeah, it was one of those things where nothing went right, kind of right from the beginning. And I'll give my brief version here of what's happened, but I certainly don't want to moan about the fact that I couldn't get out and film where I wanted to, because there's people actually suffering out there. It's unfortunate for me that I couldn't get what I wanted to filmed. However, I'm out here in a hammock by choice, and there's people actually in shelters right now, not by choice. But Reader's Digest version of the events. I plan to do a series of stealth videos on Vancouver Island, which is a stealth camper's paradise. It's warmer than here by far, and that was kind of what I was going for, because winter stealth camping is really unpleasant when you're trying to do it in a backpack. And I had a bunch of spots planned out, a bunch of really cool things I was going to do. And I packed up and left. And I stayed the first night kind of in the first town into BC I could get to, would be Valemount. And I bunked in for the night. I slept in a bit because I had a couple of tattoos to kind of celebrate being out on the road. And by the time I got in the car, the snow was flying. And what I heard from the limited radio reception was that there was an absolute disaster unfolding in the province, including the actual roads I needed to take to get there. And by the time I traveled a little further down, I heard the entire town of Merritt was evacuated, and they were coming to Kamloops and Kelowna and these other places for shelter. And the storm was going. I was white knuckling through snow, of course. It's always what happens. But yeah, I figured I'd get to Kamloops and see what happens from there. We had no idea the extent of the tragedy that was happening. And, well, that traffic is a little noisy. We had no idea when the roads might be open, when they wouldn't be open. And then over the next few days, we realized these roads might not be open for months. And I was in Kamloops, which is not my ideal city for stealth camping. I found a couple of good spots. Of course, one of them I got to, and there's syringes and naloxone kit right where I was going to camp for the night.
Welcome to Cheerios Training Camp. I'm Jamar Chase with my guy, Myron St. Brown. Where things are getting a little sticky. Ooh, hands like honey. Now that's one tasty touchdown.
Take your garage from basic to bold with the Gorilla Garage Floor Coating Kit.
However you go there, first check Kayak to search hundreds of travel sites at once and compare hotel prices to find a great deal.
My doubts will destroy my dreams. But not today. My dreams will destroy my doubts.
And I'm not about to start now. Not when speaking up can help millions of women experiencing the coughing fit panty blitz. Thankfully, there's boys.
Improved pads instantly.
And I found a few other potential spots. The problem I have with Kamloops, beautiful city, beautiful people, but everybody's in a real hurry, and the town is not laid out straight. Like there's roads curving all over. And when I'm looking for a spot, I try to slow down and peek around. And the people behind me, they know exactly where they're going, and they want to get there quick. So there's a little bit of road rage in this, and not just against me, but against other people. But no, it's a really good town, of course, and obviously a stressful time for a bunch of people that ended up in the town as evacuees, etc. So, with that said, I got an eye infection. It was called a sty, and it's not pink eye, because I know the jokes are going to come up about pink eye, but no, it's basically the tear pipe, the nozzle of the tear pipe gets a crumb in it or something, and it backs up. And my whole eye was like swollen shut. So right then I'm thinking, this is definitely not meant to be. As soon as the eye heals up, I'll turn around, and I did. And I'm just on the way back home right now. I'm probably 3 hours away from home at the moment. And then I saw this awesome sign. So I have to camp behind that, obviously. And it's been overdue. I've been absolutely down in the dumps, but this is not an hour for me to complain. This is, I'm going to say, a call to arms for people. With what's happening in BC, I have to thank the beer donation people, which will play out here, probably over here. But please, I'm going to take down the beer donation link as soon as I get back to edit this video. And I encourage everybody to donate to local charities, local food banks, Red Cross, whatever the case is. This is the season coming up when people need it the most. I am eating quite fine here. It doesn't look like much. That's all I need. I will do fine. Corned beefy. But I have donated $1,000 to the Red Cross BC flood relief, and I put a challenge out to any other YouTubers that get to go to BC, a beautiful province. I was born there. I lived there for years. I have a lot of good friends and a lot of family there, and it breaks my heart what everybody in BC has been going through. But that's not the only tragedy in the world. Please, please defer any beer donation funds until after things get straightened out into the new year sometime, and after the holiday season is done, because there's folks that, would be lucky to be having this tangy corned beef cabbage soup here for sure. And so anybody that's actually going out enjoying BC, any tourists, please consider putting in a donation to the relief fund. And that's all I can say about that. I know it's probably a long list over there because it's been a few weeks that I haven't done a video, but thank you all so much. But I'm going to be turning off the links to the beer donation funds. And until the new year, I want to see any of those donations go towards your local food banks, Habitat for Humanity, whatever your cause is. And please give me a message through stevewallace.com or campingwithsteve.com. They're both the same site. And I'm going to get your names up for what you can do to help people that are really struggling, because my stealth camping, I love doing it. I get a thrill out of it. I used to do it not by choice. Now I do it by choice because it's fun to do and it gets me outside. A lot of people don't have that choice though. thank you all so much, of course. And enough of this old guy rambling on. I have no idea what I'm even going to do when I get home for another video, but I know what I'm going to do as soon as I finish eating this. I have to get the bear spray out of my car across the highway, so we're going to go for a little walk here as soon as the traffic calms down. Cheers, everybody. And feels like I'm here with friends, even though I'm just talking to camera. But I'll see you in the comments, I'm sure. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. Actually, this works out perfect. This. Oh, I don't do it. Perfect timing. It doesn't get better than that. Big one. It's going to be around -4 Celsius tonight, so I'm sure that's not too cold. Probably, 24 Fahrenheit or something like that. 25, I don't know. But I have a sleeping bag that should be able to deal with that, and I got a liner inside of that sleeping bag too. That would be excellent. I've just gotta head back across the highway here, and we can get ready to hunker down a little bit. It's go time. Highway traffic is really calming down a lot, so I'm going to get the sleeping bag set up. I don't think I've used this one before. It's the Woods Logan -7. I've got an assortment of sleeping bags to kind of try and match the temperatures I go in on. And so it's pretty puffy, pretty big, but yeah, it's a nice big sleeping bag. Of course, well, that's a real wide big mummy bag. I'm going to be trying out this fleece sleeping bag liner. I'm just going to cover up that light here. When I look on the screen, it looks a lot brighter than it actually is in real life. But yeah, fleece liner in here should provide the warmth I need without trying to inflate that sleeping pad. And I know there's under quilts for these too, which are super good. I will experiment with one of those under quilts here in the not too distant future, but it's time for this old guy to call me for the night. And we'll see what morning brings. Walk around a bit. Make sure I have my bear sprayed in here with me. Okay, that sounds good. Crawl in here and get settled. Okay, tucked in quite nicely. The sleeping bag liner getting into the other sleeping bag was kind of like trying to put a pair of jeans on top of another pair of jeans. Didn't work too smoothly, but it worked. I got everything I need here. Up above me, of course, the bear spray, cell phone, car keys over there. And Of course, our car is so unreliable, I didn't want to take it on this trip, so I rented a car. And I did not know, but if you lean on the keys wrong, the trunk pops open. And got a call from the hotel front desk, and they said, your trunk's open. So I went down to close it. If I'd known better, I could have just pushed the button to close the trunk, but I'm not used to these fancy things. So I've got a really nice view out here, through the screen. I can see a whole bunch of stuff out there, vehicles coming. Actually, I could probably see the car in the parking lot if I didn't have this camo in the way. But hopefully it'll be a warm night. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you like watching grown men sleep behind billboards, please consider subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the morning. Cheers. Good morning. It's cold out there and I don't want to get out of bed, but I have to. Here goes nothing. Okay, the worst is over. Jacket's on. Everything packed up here. This little fleece liner I got probably saved the day. I was pretty warm, but just about on the edge of comfortable, if you know what I mean. My feet were having some issues staying warm until the sun came up and I could see the bottom of the sleeping bag where my feet were was kind of bunched over weird. And as soon as I adjusted it, feet warmed right up. It could have been a much nicer night. However, I did get some sleep. Not a full 8, of course, but that's okay. It is a good thing to get any amount of sleep behind a billboard in freezing temperatures, non-stop traffic. Things could definitely be worse. Will it fit back in the bag? Ta-da! That golf course up the hill there is a lot more substantial than I thought. I looked at it on the maps, and it's a public golf course. Looks to be a full 18 holes, and I guess I technically kind of slept inside the golf course. Just love these stuff sack compression bags. Makes packing so much easier. I'm just about packed up, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave the gear basically here, run across the road, back to the car, then casually load up. I won't forget the keys for that thing. And, excellent, excellent. I don't always mention in the videos what hammock I'm using, but it is a Hennessy asymmetrical zip model hammock. I'm using these for years with absolute great success. You sleep at an angle inside of them against the line. Ideally, that's what you do. And then you can actually lay flat instead of like curved like a banana. And I'm a side sleeper, so that works really good for me. Everything packs up nice and quickly. I got this camo netting still set up here because I'm leaving all the gear here when I run across the road. Same deal as last time. I'll just bring the cameras because it would be absolutely unfortunate if they got stolen right when I finish filming the video. So I'm gonna wait for the break in traffic, and then we're gonna run across the road. Now is a good time to go. She's a frosty one. This will have to warm up. The rental company didn't include an ice scraper, and I hate using the credit cards. My hands are cold enough. I don't want to freeze myself any more than I am. Tripod, and we're out of here. Another successful stealth. Somewhere I probably shouldn't have been. Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned. Oh, yeah, this backpack is really not that comfortable. Stay tuned for more adventures. There's bound to be more. I'm not giving up anytime soon. And we'll see how things go with the weather. It's going to be really crummy. So next week, whatever I do is going to be cold. I can guarantee you that. So cheers, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for your patience, and thanks for following along. Bye, everybody.
At Marshalls, our buyers hustle 24/7, so you never have to compromise on quality or price. We're getting you a better deal because we believe that everyone deserves the good stuff. Good.
Campbell's.
Good.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camping with Steve. I've wanted to do this video for a very long time, but I haven't been able to find the perfect spot to do it. And of course that is the roundabout. Right behind me is the perfect roundabout. I crawled in there the other day to see if it'd be possible, and there's just enough room. It's not going to be big enough for a tent or a hammock or even a cot, but on the ground I should be just fine. Rush hour is happening right now, so there's a lot of traffic coming through. I can't crawl in there quite yet. I'm gonna wait for it to calm down a little bit. But in the meantime, I gotta grab dinner and just a real easy meal for tonight. We'll make like a chicken wrap or something, whatever I can find from the grocery store. Because after the fiasco with the fire last time, I don't want to light one in a place like that. That would be nothing but trouble. Now, before I grab food, I'm going to run into Princess Auto and grab a high-vis vest and a big garbage bag so I can look less suspicious. I don't know if that's going to work, but I really hope it does. And for my Canadian friends, you're going to know probably what a Princess Auto is. For those that don't, it's like a hardware store that focuses on some more like bigger industrial stuff, driveline, hydraulics, that type of stuff. But they definitely got a high-vis vest in there. All right. Gloves and a high-vis vest. Food is a requirement, of course. And one thing I like to do for little hiking trips or when we were gold mining is that we would grab those little pre-made salads. And it could be like Caesar, Southwestern Ranch, Santa Fe style, whatever. Asian salads, it doesn't matter. Get some pre-cooked meat, dump that in there, and stick it in a pita or a wrap, and you got a real easy meal. So I'm going to do that tonight with some soup. I think I can kind of cook on a little alcohol stove. I'm not going to use the butane in all that tender, dry wood in there, but an invisible flame, what could go wrong with that? So I'll see what they got in here, and then we'll hike on over and see if we get set up for the night. Perfect. Throw the gear into this garbage bag here and head over there to see what's going on. I've managed to actually fit all of the gear for stealth camping into this little backpack, which is good. And then I got some food right back here. Dinner. Go on there. too. And so there I go. I'll walk over with this and I'll see if I can get across. The traffic seems to have slowed down, so that's good. And here we go. All right. Just going to stop here and wait for traffic to go past. Just act like I'm in here doing something with these bushes. Okay. And let's go. Right. Wandered across, no problem. Yeah, let's crawl into this thing. See what we can do. That's okay. We're going right past. And here we are. It's going to be what's in camp tonight, so I have to crawl over there a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, I'm going to take this high-vis off, and then we'll get set up here. This is just fine. It's soft enough. The ground here is soft enough that I'm just using a ground sheet, a little tent footprint. Even in the best of places, people aren't really familiar with roundabouts or how to use them. So I'm glad they've placed boulders around the outside so a car is not going to squish me at night. Another really nice benefit of being in a roundabout is that people are so focused on trying not to crash into each other that they're not going to look in here for little old me. I've got the same -7 degrees Celsius sleeping bag. Woods brand. Lay that out on the ground here. Well, that does it for setting up the shelter. Somebody recommended to me Phillips Brewing, local here. This is an implosion Pilsner, and we all know I like my Pilsners, so we'll just stealth crack this beer. Could have been louder, could have been quieter, but I don't think anybody heard. Yes. One thing I really don't like is this turquoisey blue color, because there's not a whole lot of foliage here on the lower brushes. So I'm going to turn this sleeping bag inside out. Much better, much more stealthy. I've only seen one piece of garbage in here. It's a whole bag full of liquor stores. While I see that, I'll just there. Gotta keep these places looking nice and clean. There's one little spot I can actually stand up in the middle here, so that's pretty good. Nice thing is, if you really wanted to get in here, you gotta crawl on your hands and knees from any of the access points around the outside of this. I really hope there's no sprinkler system in here. I didn't see one, but it wouldn't surprise me if they put one in. The police drove past, and they slowed down a little bit, but they just kept going. I'm sure that's the first of many times they're going to drive by tonight. So I'll keep the lights low and just stay hunkered down. Traffic has not died down yet, and I hope it does soon because I really want to put that high-vis vest on again and crawl out through one of these holes to see if I can see the little sleeping bag setup if I really look hard. I don't think so because I'm in like the part where there's just shadows here, and aside from a few headlights hitting me in the face, there shouldn't be too much to see. There's other spots behind me, and those spots are more in the light, but I'm in the perfect spot for this. I'm not gonna do that alcohol stove in here because these branches are really dry. See, I could just crack one off. Dry. I did hear some sirens in the distance, and what looked to be an unmarked police cruiser did a little turnaround and drove back that way where the sirens were coming from. I'm sure it's not for me because there was a gentleman walking down the tracks earlier there, and he was screaming very loudly some words I've never even heard before. And I think they may be going to check on him to be sure he's all right. Things are still really lively here. I can't believe it. It's getting a little bit late and I haven't even made my wrap yet. But they gotta go to bed eventually, right? All right. Stealth test. The dumbest thing I could do because I've gotten away with this. I came in right before dark. Nobody's seen me. I haven't used any lights. And actually I can film with just the traffic lights on me. So that's perfect. But I'm gonna hang up this. It's just a cab. I'm gonna hang up this orange plastic bag a little bit there. And I'm not gonna put a light on because I don't want to tempt fate. But I will walk around this thing and see just how obvious that possibly could be. I don't think very obvious. I think this is walk in the park. And one of the good rules of stealth is you can't beat a stealth spot. You know, I could go crazy putting up that camo netting in here, but that's just not necessary. A good spot that really hasn't been used or discovered, there's no sidewalk around the outside. You'd have to really brave the traffic during the day to get back and forth out here. Let's hang this up and go see what we can see. I'm just waiting for a big burst of traffic to come by here because there's a traffic light up the road. And as soon as it goes green, everybody comes through, and then it should be red for a minute or so. And that'll give me enough time to walk around. Seems to be all there is for traffic. There's some people doing some construction work down there, which is not ideal. However, there's a way out here that I don't have to crawl. There's one way in and out without going on your hands and knees. And this is it. All right, we're walking around this way, away from the construction work. It's just about a perfect roundabout if I've ever seen one. Okay, so there's a car coming, so I certainly cannot just crawl in there. And actually, I think that's a peace officer, which is even better. That's a safety patrol, and they just stopped. Okay, this is bad, and I don't know what to do. So he's going to come around and probably talk to me. I'm going to say there's a bird here, and I was trying to get on film. Yes, there he is. Excellent. Oh, Community Safety Patrol. And there he goes. Okay, the heart's beating like a hummingbird here. So that's pretty cool. And he's turning around, probably going to come and talk to me. So I'm just going to have to play it cool. This might be me getting busted for doing a stupid stealth test, and I just don't know. It goes that way. Community Safety Patrol. So, yay! Community Safety Patrol is not going to arrest me, but they will call the police about things. So, not quite sure what to do exactly, but he's on me for sure. That's a given. Should I crawl back in there? I just don't know. I really don't know. Very bad timing, very bad timing. He's parked over there. And I'm just gonna stay in here as quiet as possible. Somebody else are just gonna lay low and try to ignore the fact that Community Safety Patrol saw me and drove around here. Oh boy, here we go. Alright, so I'm just gonna lay low, hunker down, keep things dark and quiet. They're parked in that parking lot over there. I came in on the other side they couldn't see, and bad timing. So I'm just gonna sit here for a bit and wait for this all to blow over. I think I can hear them on the radio or something. Jeez. If he comes over to walk around, I'm done for. The security guy left. I'm just laying in wait for the police to show up, hoping they won't. So let's see what happens. A little more waiting, and then I can probably consider myself in the clear. Yes, I broke a lot of stealth camping rules there to go out and walk around. And I will say, if you're seriously stealth camping, go in right before dark, set up, stay very quiet, don't talk to a camera, don't have any lights on, and definitely don't get out and walk around to show what it looks like on the outside when there's still traffic around. But the reason I do that is not just out of a cautionary example or an experiment, but also to make a more interesting video than me sitting in a little grove of trees rambling on about stuff. So with that said, I'll say we got lucky, and that's the rules of stealth camp. In right before dark, out ideally before light, but
With Ride Command on the Polaris Razor XP, hit the trails and make every ride count.
Bring your cats running the easy way with new Friskies Little Lickables. Always more to explore.
Orgain's 30-gram protein shake provides muscle support. With 5 grams of BCAA for peak performance, it's made with premium protein and no artificial sweeteners. Power up with Orgain.
These are your customers. You try to understand them, but there's too many data signals. You struggle to connect it all together. Until now. With TransUnion, the chaos suddenly becomes clear, revealing a complete picture of your customers. Welcome to a better way.
Leave worries behind. With our most efficient Series 9 yet, perfect closeness and skin protection. Brown, better by design.
you know, things could go a lot worse than they did, and I'm quite pleased. So we're about to start building a little wrap here, because I have just vanished and I got to eat something. Definitely a quite different meal today. This one features the salsa enchilada kit. which has both iceberg and romaine, along with a salsa ranch dressing, nacho taco seasoning, cheeses, yellow and blue tortilla strips, vinaigrette, salsa, ranch, a whole bunch of stuff. And of course, it comes with a lot of packaging, which is unfortunate, but for camping, you're looking for convenience. And stealth camping, especially, I don't want to be sitting here chopping up a huge head of iceberg lettuce. But it smells salsa-ish. That's pretty good. Turkey. So, oven roasted in-store turkey. Throw that in there. I'm so hungry, I don't care if it's cat food. It's going in there. Kind of. So, dumped it all in the bag it came in. I'm going to shake it like it's a Polaroid picture and dump it in one of these flour corn tortilla wrappers. That's not stealthy. Wrap, lettuce, turkey, cheese that came with this thing. Still spilling some of it, but all right. Wrap this thing up. I usually prefer to use a pita, and that's okay. All right. Kind of healthy, but easy. So, as always, I'm going to thank the people that have donated to the Beer Donation Fund. As always, thank you. Happy birthday to all folks that are having their birthdays. Good thing there's not a lot of bears like right in the city here, because yeah, I'm gonna have to wash this sleeping bag before I get out to do serious wilderness camping, because it smells like salsa ranch. I do struggle sometimes trying to come up with stealth meals that are going to fit in a backpack that I can actually prepare in something like a roundabout quietly without fire exploding all over the place. And in the summer, these nice, easy wrap things are just a great option. So I got to get creative with them here. Some wraps, some rolls, pizza wrap rolls, and I'll just be making these things like crazy. The traffic has died down, and it's an absolutely beautiful night under the stars. I could have probably fit my bivvy tent in here, but not really necessary. The weather forecasts are always right. Am I right? But I stuck my head in a couple days ago to try and scope the place out, and I kind of tried to crawl in, and I said it'll probably do, but I didn't know how good it would be under these laurels. I know these are a typical really good hedge plant. There's a lot of foliage, and you can pretty well hunker down. Some of these trunks on these things are 10 inches around, so it's a pretty good place, and it's only going to get better over time. They die off on the inside, but the outside is just a lush canopy of cover. So I couldn't be happier here. And I used to live here back in the day in my motorhome. And some of those spots are closed off now. I don't actually see a lot of people van lifing or boondocking out here. And I hope I'm not to blame for that. But, some of the places that I used 10 years ago are completely blocked off now. And I haven't got to explore the places I used to go yet that were further off the trail. But the easy ones that we used to park at, it's all no camping, no overnight parking, nothing like that. So I guess the place is a lot busier now. Houses and condos are sprouting up like mushrooms everywhere. So there's a lot more people here. And, when you got that much demand on space and parking lots, people obviously have to make different rules. But is there a bus still running? Wow, they got good transit service here. I'll say that. But anyway, yeah, it's been a successful night. The police never came back, which is always a great thing. The security guard just left. Actually, I did see another one that said security driving around. But I'm just hunkered down here, counting down the hours. I'm going to crawl in here in a little bit. But yeah, just enjoying the evening. Beautiful out and peaceful, finally. Time to fully hunker down because it's been a great success. Couple step twos, and in the middle of a roundabout in a city I used to kind of live in when I was doing the van life thing, boondocking, motorhome thing. But no, very, very good evening. That security guard had been driving around a whole bunch and hasn't seen me yet, or either doesn't care, or called the police and they're too busy. So I'm just here being quiet, being good, and just gotta get through the next several hours here of sleeping undisturbed, and I think we had a great success. So of course, also please subscribe if you like this type of thing. That never hurts. The algorithm likes it, but you know, if not, then don't. Or if this isn't what you want to see, don't be afraid to unsubscribe either. I don't want to drag anybody along for this if you don't want to be involved. So cheers, everybody. Let the hunkering down begin. See you in the morning. That moment of waking up and saying, why am I in a roundabout? Then I remember, oh yeah, the YouTube thing. So, it was a pretty good night. The sleeping bag is supposedly rated for -7 degrees Celsius, which is about 20 Fahrenheit. I wouldn't take it on that stroll because it was just about good for last night, which was +6 or +7 Celsius, which equates to, that's got to be in the 40s Fahrenheit. So I'm really feeling quite exposed here. Not so much cover in the daytime as there was at night. And we're just before 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I would expect any maintenance crews to come in here. So time to get out of here. Well, do I ever love having minimal gear to take down in the morning? This is a real treat. Not a moment too soon. Somebody's on a lawnmower out there. And I'm gonna get out of here. Nick of time. But craziest thing, when I wake up somewhere like this and I look outside, I think, oh, I'm obvious. And then I kind of just tuck back under my blanket and hide. You know, try to wake up, form my plan, my motivation to get up and going. You know, thinking that if I've covered my head, they're not going to see me. Meanwhile, I've got, you know, garbage bags and stuff that are plainly obvious. But, yeah, we just about got her all packed up here. Quick final check here. And it's really clean. Nothing left behind. I'm going to switch from this camera to the GoPro. So that shouldn't be as obvious as walking out of here with this. There we go. And there is irrigation here. Thankfully it didn't go off on me. That would have been bad. But Awesome. We did a pretty good job here. We can get busted, and actually I can sneak right across here. Perfect. Awesome timing, awesome timing. Look at that. So, yeah, the actual maintenance crew is out there, inching closer towards the roundabout. So, perfect timing, and even better to get out of here before they realize I don't work for their company. And I'm amazed at how many people don't really know how roundabouts work, because what was happening last night all through the evening is a vehicle would come in, and instead of continuing straight, he would turn in here, turn around, and then go out the other way. So it's new to me. I've never seen that type of thing before for roundabout usage. So yeah, good. Nobody suspects a thing. We're just driving right past. Awesome. The car is even still there with no ticket on it. Can't beat that. Oh yeah, they were getting closer and closer to that roundabout. So I picked maybe not the best day to do it because they're doing the maintenance of boulevards. Ideally, Saturday and Friday night, they're not likely to be out working on the weekends. So that's one of the best days to do it. However, still worked. It was pretty good. There's a stadium not far from where I was camped, and they got some kind of a bird repellent system. Unless it's a bunch of really crazy birds, it was like an extremely loud flock of birds. So that's what it sounded like, and it went on for quite some time. That impacted the sleep quality. But yeah, overall, I would probably not do that one again. The traffic noise is just too much. The location itself, brilliant. If that was on a seldom used residential road in the middle of nowhere, that would be everybody's dream come true. Everybody's childhood dream right there, roundabout. But I don't know. We'll see if my antics make them chop all those trees down and put in a fountain. I certainly hope not. I'm just going to dump out this garbage and then head back to go get a beautiful wife, and then we're going to go do a little bit more camping. So stay tuned, everybody. Cheers, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday, if not sooner. That's the goal, but we'll see. I've done most of the work on scoping out new locations. I've got a list of about 6 or 7 of these, so the hard work is done, and I have basically almost met up with everybody, all the friends and family here that I've put off for so long. So yeah, we're on track. Never been more excited. Cheers, everybody.
One, two, three.
The world may never know.
Welcome to Camping with Steve. Camping in a dump truck parked on the side of the road today, thanks to Fast Eddie, who was very cooperative when I mentioned camping in dump truck. Surprisingly, he didn't have an issue with that. So it looks like it's broken down on the side of the road. Getting dropped off here. I have my friend Scott drop me off and help me load some camp gear into the back of this. Let's go. Looks like we're just cleaning up garbage from the ditches. If I stand up, people can easily see me. So before I take my costume off, I'm going to set up the comm link so I can get the cameras rolling, and then I'll know if it's safe to pop my head up or not. But, you know, with the high-vis vest on, combs out, people are not going to stress too much if they see somebody walking around with a box truck. And I'm going to place the cameras up there as well. These cameras have little lights on them, so I got that covered with electrical tape. So it'll still be obviously a ring camera, but on a big truck like this, I don't think they'll notice. I've got 2 lithium iron phosphate batteries here. I don't need those for just the communication setup. I need those for a cooking appliance I brought with me. Well, good morning. That power inverter is on, and it's rated for 3,000 watts, so I don't think we're going to have an issue here. Just waiting for the system to boot up, and later I'll bond the 2 batteries together with this jumper cable. That'll give me the 200 amps I need. Okay, now I got a live view of what's going on outside, so I can take off this costume. Now this is a dump truck, so I don't know exactly what's spilled out there, but I have my suspicions. So I'm going to put the sleeping mat on the cleaner part. Prime example right there was there was a cyclist biking past, and I knew I shouldn't be talking if somebody's biking or walking past like that. So I'm excited about the setup. Somebody's just pulled up behind me. I've never used one of these smart home security systems before, but it has a nice feature where it will alert you if there's a person. So the cars don't set it off, but my phone goes off if there's a person walking or biking in front or behind the truck. So that's perfect. It cuts down on a lot of stress. If only it had a feature by law officer behind you or in front of you. Being that this is a big steel bucket on the back of the truck, it could give off a little set point. Guaranteed certified rate of 4, minus 10 Celsius, 14 Fahrenheit. That means 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit. Let's be honest. I hear a helicopter. That's the only thing that could catch me, and I doubt they're looking for people camped in the back of dump trucks. A little bit of a clear break in traffic here. Now, if I could stand up more comfortably, this would be my view. But I gotta lay low. I'm gonna be hunkered down here, staying low for the next hour or so, because there are fancy houses to the left, fancy houses to the right. Here I am on a Sunday night, and the sun's gonna set around an hour. Then in twilight, we can poke our head around for a little bit of adventure. In the event of rain, I've got these magnets and a tarp here. I can cover this up quite easily, and these magnets will hold the other end down onto the floor. So I should stay nice and dry no matter what happens. Now that shelter is all set up, it's time for step 2. Now, anything involving vehicles, is always a non-alcoholic step too. Even though I don't have the keys to this, I just don't want to be drinking a beer in the back of a vehicle parked on a road. So, in honor of that, today's beer is one I found at the grocery store called What's the Point? Which basically sums up my channel and the way some people feel about alcohol-free beers. So, let's see what it tastes like. It's all right, you know? What's the point, though? But this one, big cheers. This is dedicated to Crazy Neighbor. Him and I were going to film this video, but we could never find anybody willing to let us use or rent a dump truck. And he has his license. Crazy Neighbor had his license to drive one of these. And when we explained what we were going to do, everybody got really scared and freaked out about it. So we were going to have it set up with a couple of cots and, you know, have a good old camping trip. But I'm doing it for the both of us now. So also big shout out to Fast Eddie for actually letting me do this in the back of his truck, because it's been a long search to try and find somebody that will let me do this in the back of the truck. So Fast Eddie, he's the guy to go to for all your dump truck camping needs, of which I know there is a demand for. And also, I got his information from Pioneer Polly, who used this to, he got a whole dump truck load of sand, like Home Depot sand, and found out how much gold was in it. I won't spoil it for you, but there was gold in it. And he's even got his GoPro mount still on the back of the truck here. If I'd known that, it would have made my life a little bit easier. But that's what's going on there. Everything looks pretty calm on the cameras. So I'm just going to have this delicious What's the Point wheat ale. And wait for the sun to dip down on the horizon a little bit more. I think we're going to be having a good night tonight here, guys. It's hard to say. To me, that looks like a Chevy Silverado, like a Chevy Silverado, but I'm just going to have to hunker down for a little bit here until that goes away. Speaking of the restroom situation, you've probably noticed there isn't one. But the way it's all sloped, everything drains out the back. Kidding. There's a grocery store down the road that is open until 10. There's a Starbucks that opens at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm covered all but for those few hours in the night. So right before bed, I'm going to be sure to go. Now we got a second vehicle that pulled up in front of that last one. The time to hunker down is now. One is leaving, and the second one is leaving. So finally, after a long wait, all those vehicles behind me have drove away. So we got smooth sailing here. Wait for this car to pass. Okay, braking traffic for a little bit. Oh, here we go. I can see all these nice houses over there. See downtown right over there. In the distance is Mount Baker. They're building a bunch of stuff down there by the looks of it. And this is what's going on here. There's some lights along the walking trail, but there's no street lights shining down. So I'll have to use the flashlight tonight, but I think if I'm pointing it down and away from the road, we should be fine. I am getting too old to be cold. So, brought the little buddy here with me. Should hold things up nicely. Just like so. This will keep the chill off. Okay, things are officially pretty dark here. Gonna need that flashlight right away. All right, now this is what camping's all about. I've got my heat going, I've got my security cameras on, and I'm just kind of relaxing here. I'm gonna start cooking food in about 20 minutes. That would give me enough time to make it down, hopefully, to that restroom before it closes down the road. And the traffic is still a little bit busy, of course. It's a kind of main road, and that should calm down a little bit here within the next hour or so. But I can hear some people walking by. All right. Catch you guys in a sec. It's getting a little more quiet. There's another vehicle that looks like it parked in front, and I have heard some people talking, so.
I'm being told this is Limo Emo from Liberty Mutual, who helps save you hundreds by customizing your car insurance. And his partner, Doug, is the gentleman, the security guard.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 Liberty. Orgain Creatine. It's good for your muscles and mind. Premium creatine monohydrate with zero fillers or additives that supports muscle strength and power and brain health. Elevate your performance with Orgain Creatine.
Hello, gorgeous. You've earned your stripes and deserve your rewards. You're fierce, wise, and stronger and more stunning than ever because you haven't come this far just to come this far. You're worth it.
With new, gentler scents, clean smells as it feels.
Get a taste of new Lipton Fusions. Real iced tea, now with a wave of lemonade in strawberry or pineapple mango. Try new Lipton Fusions lemonade iced tea.
Yay, being quiet and staying still. Okay, I've got the two batteries linked together, and that'll provide me extra power. It's already raised the voltage on the inverter. The pizza oven's going to take about 20 minutes to warm up. That'll give me time to prep the pizzas. Okay, the type of pizza I'm making tonight it's a pan pizza. I know the Neapolitan styles are really trendy right now, but that's beyond my skill level, and I like these ones just fine. So it's known kind of as a Regina style pizza. In Saskatchewan, they're very popular. That's pretty much any pizza you're gonna get. Pretty thick crust, loads of cheese, tons of toppings. Dump truck pizza coming up real quick. To add to the point of contention about pizza, don't worry, I'm leaving the pineapples off. The cheese goes on top, and there's a lot of it. It's all actually measured out. That is the amount that goes on the Regina style pizza. One at a time, and I'm doing 17 minutes because these are heavy. That's over a pound for sure. Okay, and that's what that looks like. Goes the blender. The bottom of the crust looks like about like that. fresh tomatoes in it. Because one, you can eat it faster, and two, it balances out the flavor really nice because there's not a lot of cheese on these. Right. Number two. There she is. Now, now I can give my poor battery a break because that was a lot of work to do off batteries. But can't wait to dig into this delicious pizza. Mm. I have nothing against other styles of pizza. I love Detroit style pizza. Haven't tried an authentic Chicago deep dish. Tried New York pizza. That was good. I get what all the fuss is about. But growing up around Western Canada, this is the type that I kind of grew up with. Normally, these things have a lot more meat on them than I threw on today, but that's okay. For the back of the dump truck, this is right on, but I'm going to finish this slice, try to get out of this dump truck. I don't think I'm going to use that rope ladder. That seems more dangerous than no ladder at all. So I'm going to try to shimmy down and hit those restrooms before they close. And get back down here and get settled in for the night. So that's the plan. Turn that off. I'm going to go over this edge here as carefully as I can. Just bring the GoPro because that's safer than trying to get my whole camera over there. Here's another step. Okay. Now, I'm sure you can't really see me too well, but it's time to walk down to the store because that restroom is really calling my name right now. Okay. Nicely lit walkway. Says it's about a 10-minute walk, but I really gotta go, so I'm walking faster. Okay, that grocery store has a bar in it. That was pretty tempting, but I don't know if it was really the atmosphere I want to sit down and have a drink in. It's neat, it's a cool idea, but that's almost borderline depressing. Well, it got very nice and quiet around here. There's nobody. Good people of the world are back in their beds right now, getting ready for work tomorrow. Smooth sailing, a little more traffic. Oh, and a big hill to go up. This will be fun. Back to the dump truck. All right, mission accomplished. Oh, it's a beautiful starry night. Staying nice and warm by this propane heater. I've only just used one bottle of propane, but I did the locking and I turned it off when I was gone. So it should be coming. City over there. things have gotten real quiet, which I like. The cameras are holding up good. It's got this little night vision feature. You can actually see the back of the truck here as well as. I'm gonna try and pack up as much of this stuff as I can that I don't need anymore. Because in the morning it's gonna be cold and I'm gonna want to get out of here as quickly as possible. I got my alarm set for 7 a.m. and got my ride coming to pick me up at 8. So that gives me an hour to wake up, get everything fully packed up, and hopefully not be too cold. The tarp setup, I'm glad I did because it's starting to get windy and I don't want to get blown in the middle of the night. So it'll be nice to have some shelter there, and everything's organized, ready to go in the morning. Got my gloves and my disguise. So that'll be the first thing I put on. But it's been a fun night. This is kind of a unique camping adventure. And it is dead quiet out here, so I'll put on a little movie or something I can fall asleep to. Sure. And I'm right off. I'm tucked in, I'm ready for a wonderful duck truck week. Thanks everybody for watching so far. If you like this stuff, please consider subscribing. I'll keep trying to come up with some crazy places like this. In here, it's not so bad. Not a ton of room. Good enough for little old me. Doesn't get any better than this. See you guys in the morning. Good morning. That was pretty warm. The sleeping bag was great. I actually had to take off a layer of clothing. The little air mattress here, the sleeping pad, was fantastic. I'm a side sleeper. That was just perfect. Gotta start packing because I got a ride coming in about a half an hour. I gotta get all this packed up. Beautiful morning. Got my costume back on because now I'm gonna be standing up to get all this done. And obviously, when I stand up, traffic can't see me here. So that was a great sleep. There's this little angled part here, and right up against my back, that was perfect to sleep on my side like that. So I'm absolutely thrilled. It was pretty smooth, but there were some scary parts. Definitely when people are pulling up behind, and I can't quite see in the camera because of the exposure with the headlights shining right at the camera. I got no idea what's going on. The cameras I was using are these little Ring cameras. They're indoor cameras. I have some outdoor ones too, but these worked better for the continuous 24-hour video recording. A lot of frost built up on this tarp, so I'm glad I did have that up. You can see all the condensation here on the steel from just my breath probably coming off in the night, and it's absorbing a lot of heat. So this sleeping bag did a good job. Okay, I've got everything loaded up and ready to go. Over this side here was really easy. When Scott passed things up, it worked out really good. And I should be able to pass things down pretty quickly. And yeah, I just wait for my ride and then I am out of here. And yeah, like when you're camping in your dump truck, I would basically recommend making sure it's sorted out real good because, you know, it's a dump truck though, right? So there's anchor points. There's this here. I have to clean that out. But I was tempted to use that for the rope ladder if I was going to use that. But I also don't recommend using rope ladders. They're questionable at best under ideal circumstances, let alone in the back of a dump truck. My ride's arrived. I'll hand this down to you. Just like that. Yeah, dare I say, the perfect crime. Dump truck is looking better than when I found it. Actually, it's a dump truck, so it looks exactly the same, except with one minor difference. We left Fast Eddie a sticker. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys on the next one, and thanks again so much for watching.
Lasagna?
Lasagna.
As in lasagna?
60% of cats are overweight. Feed them I's Healthy Weight.
Hey guys, welcome to Camping with Steve and this guy, crazy neighbor. Disguises are a must today because we're setting up a fake billboard on the side of the highway. And we've seamed the two pieces together. We're going to just set up these structures on the side of the road. We've got frames already built. And we'll screw them together, staple this up, and camp behind there for the night. It's getting harder and harder to find stealth camping spots, so I've got to make my own. I should make your own sign? Yeah, it's going to work. These guys will just throw. So we've had to wait until the end of the day when all the county workers aren't going to be driving past, because this is not a legal sign to be putting up along the side of the highway. They require permits, and we don't roll that way. So that load on the roof looks completely illegal, but it's not. It's 8 feet in total width, and we're allowed 8'6". 8'6". Awesome. Yeah, everybody on the highway seems really scared of our load on the roof, so nobody's tailgating us, that's for sure.
Well, it's 50% of the truck.
Yeah, we made it. There's a little parking lot here where people just seem to park and don't have a problem. So we're going to park here after we get our sign built over yonder. We don't want to go farther. We want to stay a little bit closer to those tracks.
This is like the four-wheel drive boat Charles used to go out that place 2 years back.
Yeah. Yeah, so right in the spot over there looks great. And we can get these set up nice and quick. Let's show it again. Confidence. We have to look confident out here, and everybody will think we belong here, except for this camera. So I'll set this down here. This is a really busy highway. It's actually the intersection of two really busy highways. This is part of the Trans-Canada Highway System. It's Highway 16, the Yellowhead system. And we're going to get the signs attached to those frames and then real quick we'll raise them up because that's the part that looks the worst. Because people hate billboards. Yeah, it's not very stealthy to put myself on a billboard, but it's an old enough video. I don't look anything like that anymore. We were going to make the sign about the fake food truck called Onion Burgers, but then I opted I'm going to throw my friend's car on the sign to give them a little free advertising as a surprise, and now they're going to have to put onion burgers on their menu, and I won't mind that one little bit. Let's do this. Much good. That looks a little better, yeah. Much good. Hardest part's over, and we're pretty much hidden. I'll have to stay back in here, but that'll be fine. Crazy Neighbor's just backing up the Suburban, and we'll unload all the camping gear through here so it doesn't look ridiculous any more than it does. And we are making onion burgers. Hard to believe, I know. The lengths we have to go through because people don't build decent billboards anymore. Now the technically illegal part is over, we can park, we'll walk back on over like we have nothing to do with the sign. We just found it here. And now to get a first-hand view of this. Now we just got to be quiet and stay behind the sign. Oh, fine-looking sign. What do you think about that? Oh, here we go. Okay. Hide this from you because that was really obvious. First thing I'm doing is getting rid of this. I haven't seen any mosquitoes yet, but we're going to start the Thermocell because it is that time of the year and that time of the day. Good. Yeah. She's going. She's going. Woo. Yeah, very good. A lot of work to go camping, isn't it? So this time I didn't bring Jaggery. I brought lithium battery and a power inverter. And this, we keep this thing running on high all day and night. I'm just gonna get this started now because I like to let them simmer for an hour or two. Yep. Oh, jus mix. Get a little beefy flavor. There's not enough beef flavor in beef already. Apparently not. But beef it up a little. And I'm really kind of visible here to the oncoming traffic, but crawl back in there in a sec. A little bit more out of sight. And yeah, another hour or so, it should be pretty dark. so we can hide out a little better. How many birds do you want?
Two is
Okay,
good.
good. I'll make 2 for myself as well.
Awesome.
So it's perfect on the grill.
Yeah, big enough for 4.
Cheers, great neighbor. Step 2, accomplished. Step 1, accomplished is a fine shelter. It's not really much of a shelter.
What keeps it out of
If it does rain, we've got a tarp that we can staple up.
Ooh, flare up, that's good.
I find the flare-ups do most of the actual cooking, but this grill is grilling them up very nicely, better than the barbecue does.
That's good.
Yeah. If you want to get that lid for me,
Gotcha.
duck these in. And I know it sounds silly, like boiled hamburgers, I think somebody commented, and they just turn into like meatloaf. Looks to be some action going on across the road there. I think it's a tow truck. There's a lot of street lights around here, which is probably a good thing. Because if we use a flashlight on this side, it shouldn't be obvious from the other side. It should be kind of illuminated by these street lights. And there's a big one over there. There you go, that's better.
Yeah.
It is really cooling off. I'm gonna actually just get the sleeping bag set up to keep me a little cozier here. Alright, really cool off. Scorching hot day, and now all the moisture's coming out. There's dew in the grass.
Something not to cut, so don't drive anything that long.
We've discovered that there's a geocache here not far away. So we're going to try and find that in the dark. Little midnight geocaching. Sounds good?
I got a little flashlight here.
Excellent. Actually, we'll check out what the outside looks like with the flashlight on. But that'll give us some time for the onion bergs to fester a little bit more. And they should be ripe for consumption very soon.
Two more vehicles coming this way, and then we got about a minute.
Okay.
Well, not even. It's going faster than I thought. One more vehicle coming. Big truck. We'll see what happens after the big truck goes by. Oh, he turned. That's good. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay.
Just pass this now.
Okay.
Okay, light on.
Light on. Holy moly, that's bright.
There.
How
The collar's still there.
How bright from this side. Oh, yeah, I can't see that one bit other than the light shining out in all directions. Yeah, I can see when it's right up against there. But we got it. Oh, not that truck turn. Yeah, there's some housekeeping here. We got fireflies.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah, they're lighting up. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
I bet we're gonna find more in there in the woods. Oh, that's so cool. geocache is 60 meters into this firefly infested section of woods here. Looks like right through here.
Fuel your day with Orgain. 21 grams of complete protein and all 9 essential amino acids to keep you going. Enjoy velvety deliciousness with no artificial sweeteners. Real nutrition from Orgain.
Here we go.
These are huge and they're so much fun.
Get ready to play it forward.
However you book, first check Kayak to search hundreds of travel sites at once and compare hotel prices to find a great deal.
2 years free from hair? Discover Bronze Smart IPL. The smart alternative to laser. Enjoy 2 years free from hair and hair removal.
The Nissan Armada. Everything worth doing is worth overdoing. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Nissan Armada, starting at just $57,520.
19 meters to go. 19. Right in the area. Might be up in the tree too.
Okay, this looks odd.
No.
Look at that.
We got it.
We got it. Okay, let's see what's in here. Oh, look at all the goodies in here.
There.
There's a plastic bag with a notebook. A pen. Okay, we'll need that.
Yep.
To sign it. And look at all the stuff here. We got some Mickey Mouse stuff. Okay. Look. Minnie Mouse. And, oh, wow, this is for killing aliens?
Even works. I'm gonna get this a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Pile of these and stuff in there. Midnight geocaching makes it harder because it's already so easy to find these camouflage things in the trees. That was
Stuck in camel teeth, stuck in a tree. That's pretty good.
yeah.
All right. Now all we have to do is follow the sound of the highway and get back.
The relaxing sound of the majestic highway. This is the best day possible. Don't need much more in life than this. Eh?
No.
After building one of these fake billboards, I can see why they always have that irritating part on the bottom that you can't hide behind, because you really can't see the bottom part right there. Through the grass and whatever else. Ours are not going to look like that when we make our... Well, the jungles can figure it out. This one, yeah, it's a blast from the past, but you can't even read that from the road. It's closer than you think. That's probably okay, because that's teasing people a little bit, asking for it, so to speak. You can't be an onion bird without a big old onion. Big. Come on, next. The knife is in this cookie that I was haplessly rooting around in with my bare hand. Just chop off a few big, meaty rounds. Can I serve you a bird, crazy neighbor?
Oh, certainly.
What do you prefer?
Oh, of course, always good. Oh, what's up? Heavily onion.
Yes. Nothing fancy, but it sure hits the spot. And it's just that intense onionification of the bird.
Onionification, that's the word, right?
Really makes it.
Yeah, it does.
You planning on snoring tonight again?
I'm not smart. I purr, and with a full belly and a couple of beers, I'm probably pretty sure I'll be purring heavily.
It's coming to that time of year where it gets light really early and it gets dark really late. So we were up hunting for geocaches well past midnight, and now we're hunkering down and the sun's already starting to come out. And yeah, it's probably pushing 3 a.m. And I do kind of like to stay up that late in a sketchy situation where we are on the side of the highway. This is very unfamiliar territory, and we're behind a clearly fake sign.
It's a professionally built fake sign.
We're gonna have, 3-4 hours of sleep. I don't know how much, but this is definitely not a sleeping in situation. So we'll get whatever sleep we can here along the side of the highway with all this farmland. I would not expect there to be a bear issue around here. So we're looking like we're pretty irresponsible with the food prep and falling asleep with a glistening grill that hasn't been cleaned off yet. But it is late and it's time to hunker down, guys. Nothing better than camping on the side of a highway behind a fake billboard.
You have to be involved to sleep by all those 18-wheelers.
It's not really that much different than living in the city with your window open.
True enough.
And I'm used to the sound, so it doesn't bother me one bit. See you guys in the morning. Good morning. Not busted. Crazy neighbor seems to be up for the day already. Probably out in the suburban warming up, listening to the news or something. So, yeah, I'll get this organized. Basically, we'll just roll the suburban up here, throw everything into it, and we're going to slap these 2 signs right on the top. Because I want to give one of them to the Jungles Bar and Grill that we actually advertised here. So we'll go prop that up outside of the bar and see how long it takes them to call me about it. All right. Time to get going. Okay, all cleared up back there. We just gotta throw it on the room. And a final sweep through here reveals we've left nothing behind. And let's get out of here. You know, I say this a lot.
Go, 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 go!
Perfect drive, perfect drive.
Sure. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I do have to thank all the people that donated to the channel. The Billboard Fund. On this one. All right. Perfect. We're almost home free. All right.
Any more stops?
Nope. I know I say this all the time.
Go, go, go.
Perfect crime.
That's part of a misdemeanor, isn't it?
I think it's, what is this, littering? Drive by that. What? All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe if you like this. I will try to keep them interesting. I was out of ideas 3 years ago, but we somehow, sometimes we can pull it off. Some weeks boring, but this one was actually kind of fun. So, cheers. Stay tuned, and see you guys later.
These are your customers. You try to understand them, but there's too many data signals. You struggle to connect it all together. Until now. With TransUnion, the chaos suddenly becomes clear, revealing a complete picture of your customers. Welcome to a better way.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camping with Steve. A lot of people head out to the national parks or the mountains to enjoy a weekend of camping, but there are an awful lot of local hidden gems in the industrial areas, like a thin strip of trees between this warehouse and the railway tracks. So that's where we're going to slip into tonight. Around these areas, you can count on most things to close around 6 p.m. That's when all the cars have left. And most of this warehouse is actually for lease. So there shouldn't be too many people around. There shouldn't be too many overnight deliveries. And dead ahead is where we're going. Just doing a quick scan for cameras on the building. And there's one way down that way. But it's okay. I don't think there's anybody watching it. Let's get to Well, signs are good already. Other people have been out here stealth camping. And I'm going to keep a cleaner site than they did because we don't want to ruin it for everybody else. Now, on the other side of this little strip of trees is a rail line. Hopefully not a main rail line because that'll make for a noisy night. Well, unfortunately, this little strip of park is not as picturesque as I'd hoped. There's abandoned pallets, old bicycles, etc. So I'm going to head further down that way towards the abandoned warehouse. That one is still pretty active. Looks like there's shipping and receiving going on. So they're going to have security for sure. And this one probably will as well. Hopefully a little bit less. And on this side, there's going to be the rail police. So I'm going to have to be as stealthy as possible. That means getting the camo set up ASAP. So we'll head down here. Hopefully there's trees at the right diameter and distance apart to set up a hammock, because that's what I got today. This looks to be about as good a spot as I can hope for. So I'll get the hammock set up. The trees are spaced just about perfectly from my guesstimation. These Hennessy hammocks are by far my favorite for stealth camping. They set up really quick, they take down just as quick, and they don't stand out in the woods. They're a really nice color for stealth. So I'm going to throw on a little more camo on this side where the train tracks are. I'm a little more concerned about the rail police than I am about the security guard at the warehouse. Tonight's not going to be too cold, and the hammock is pretty comfortable. So I'm just going to use the sleeping bag, and I'm not going to add the sleeping bed in there because that takes a while to pack up in the morning. This one just goes right in the stuff sack and is packed away in no time. That sounds close, but I doubt they'd have the siren on for me. Little old me. Shelter is set up and camouflaged. So step number 2 is a Mount Crushmore of all things. Stealth cactus. Not bad. It was actually pretty quiet for a can opening in the woods. Okay. I'm gonna cool down a bit. I got this camo fleece on because it will get a little bit nippy tonight, but not too cold. Considering I'm mostly worried about the track side, I'm gonna stick my head out there and see what it looks like. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm right here, and if I wasn't looking for it, I wouldn't see it. If it stays quiet on the warehouse side, I will stick my head out that way, but not right through the woods here. I'll walk down a bit and come back around. When I first get to a new spot, I like to just sit and feel things out a little. I've heard a couple of people over at a loading dock back there, but nothing other than that. So while we've got the time, I'll just go through the pack and show you guys what I brought for this lighter weight adventure than usual. Got the GoPro to film nighttime time lapse, because there can be wild animals around here, like bear spray, just for the wildest of them. Got the little battery pack to keep things charged, associated cables, the flashlight, which we'll use sparingly. In here, it's mostly just food. I got canteen, liter of water, a quart, as it's known. Got some coleslaw, because today it's going to be pulled pork. I got this kind of pre-cooked pulled pork thing. They're super convenient, and I just have to warm it up. So I got a cheap cook kit, and I'm using an alcohol fuel in there. And I'll actually put that in this really lightweight Esbit puck style stove, and I'll warm that up. And it's, of course, it's cheating because I got this pre-cooked pulled pork in barbecue sauce, but it's not as if I'm going to be sitting here in the woods pulling my own pork. Of course, fresh baked ones, because try not to squish them. I got that air mattress I'm not using tonight, because the less there is to set up and tear down, the better, in my opinion. Aside from the trains, it's been pretty quiet. So I'm going to try and find a way through these woods out into the parking lot to get a gander at our setup. Let's go and see what we can see. Yeah, it's completely empty parking lot, which is awesome. I'm not even sure from this side where we're camped. So just take a quick peek here. It seems like the area. I recognize some of that garbage. Oh yeah. So in through there, you can see where the camp is. Yeah, so we're gonna have the lights down low tonight, early to bed, and out early in the morning. And we're just gonna rely on the lack of people around to keep us safe. Now seems like about time to start warming up some pulled pork. We actually could eat this probably colder in the package. It's pre-cooked and everything, but it's not pleasurable. This cheap cook set. It comes with a wing nut, of course. What could be more convenient than that? And to not cause a fire, I'm gonna stick that underneath it there, because that would be bad. And we'll see if this works. Oh, it's got a wick. I think I've used these before. I have in the past. At one point. Okay. An invisible flame. What could go wrong? This in the pan. Right. Wow, that doesn't look good at all. Oh, well. It smells acceptable. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll work. Should we take every little bit of trash with us, or else we're not going to be welcome back again. That extinguished the fire, so we're going to get back to the drawing board on this.
Orgain's 30-gram protein shake provides muscle support. With 5 grams of BCAA for peak performance, it's made with premium protein and no artificial sweeteners. Power up with Orgain.
Gravity Defier for life. Times for life.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual!
I just love toy stores, don't you?
David Frost guest stars.
Captain Lightyear?
Elspeth is all new at its regular time. CBS Thursday at 10, 9 Central and streaming on Paramount Plus.
No matter what kind of teeth you got to brush, Oral-B Electric cleans better with one simple touch. Oral-B's dentist-inspired brown brush head hugs them, cleans them, and gets in between them for 100% cleaner teeth. Your perfect clean starts with Oral-B.
This tire should work perfect. Okay. So, with a little ingenuity from what Mother Nature has provided, that'll work just fine. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's get there. This up. There we go. It's absolutely perfect. So, please. Doesn't get better than that. Awesome. That cooked up just dandy. Don't need to start a tire fire out here, but that is certainly time to make myself a little pulled pork sandwich. Yum, yum, yum. And I even got a vegetable on there, coleslaw. Yeah. So it actually pulled apart pretty good, soaked up a lot of that barbecue sauce. I'm feeling a lot better about this than when I plopped it out into the pan there. And coleslaw. Pulled pork, delish. And this is the prime example of a good stealth camping meal, unless you're just warming up a can of something. Yeah, I'll eat a ton of these tonight, and then I can rinse out the pot, give it a quick wash, pack it away, and it's the fewer things that are on the go, the fewer pieces of food prep that are required, the better. And this is actually one I'm going to start adding into the rotation of my regular camping trips, because this is oh so good. When I'm doing a riskier stealth camp like this, where I've got security on that side, security on that side, I pack up everything as soon as I'm done with it. So all that food packed away, ready to go. Because if I got to grab that bag and this camera and book it to whichever side is probably best. I don't mind if I leave the camo netting behind. I'd much rather not leave this behind in the sleeping bag. But if I have to get out of here quick, then I'm not scrambling to clean up a big mess. And I can just go. And we're going to pray that doesn't happen. But if it does, I'll be prepared for it. And this is a bit of a slow stretch on the rail line. This pulls right into town and then goes to the yard. So these trains are slowing down, and that is at a speed that you could actually jump onto them. We're not going to do that, but some people definitely have. And that's what I'm guessing some of these camp remains here are people that were just hopping trains. So we're going to avoid that situation. And there will probably be a few rolling through in the darkest hours of the night, because I'm sure we haven't seen the last of those trains. We're losing our daylight. I haven't seen a train in a while, which is awesome. And the lights in the warehouse have lit up. And that actually helps us, because from the parking lot, those lights will illuminate the outside of the bush, and it'll make it hard for people to see further in. If there was no lights, then any type of little light you make would be very visible to the people outside. So everything so far is going really good. I haven't seen a car or anything drive through the parking lot. I think we're A-okay as long as there's no rail police coming by on the other side. This is looking really good so far. Yeah, you can see how slow this train is moving. This is where folks would jump off. You wouldn't jump on, because that's pulling right to the yard. But this is where people could be getting off. This would be the best place to do it. And of course, we're not jumping a train. I'm far too old and married to do that. Just about trying to tuck in for the night, but there is a police helicopter circling overhead. I'm sure it's not for me, but it doesn't make me feel good. There's trains switching back and forth pretty constantly. Oh, there's the chopper coming back. This is about a good time to thank everybody for donating to the beer donation funds, which might soon be the bail donation funds. Thank you all so much. I don't even know what more to say. I'm trying to keep a low profile here. I got a small light on me, but it's mostly covered by my hand right now, so nobody should be able to see it. I'm sure the chopper overhead is not looking in thermal imaging for somebody camping out here, or I sure hope not. Okay, I'm gonna tuck into bed here as soon as this train is gone. Okay, I've weaseled into the hammock here for the night. I've got up there the bear spray and the cell phone, and I'm going to zip this up in a second. The trains have calmed down a bit, but they're also not really loud because they're going very slow. So that's a nice surprise. Out on the train side, we got a camo there, so it's doing its job, which is fantastic. And yeah, we'll just hunker down here because I'm so tired I could explode. But in the morning, we'll deal with this, and I'll wake up and say, where on earth am I, and what did I do last night? So, cheers, everybody. See you in the morning. Let's get this zipped up before the mosquitoes get in. Well, good morning. The trains aren't actually that bad when they're going slow. It was almost relaxing, I could say. That was quite successful. I give this place 4 stars. 4 stars out of 5. This is a pretty good spot for the night. But I can hear the pitter patter of rain starting to fall on my tarp here, and it is it's about 7:30 in the morning. So that's probably a good time to start packing up and getting out of here. There's nobody really showed up next door at that warehouse, so that's a good thing. And there's no yard crew walking the trains, so pretty much should be pretty cut and dry, super easy. Pack up and get back to reality. All packed up, not a moment too soon. There's been a lot of traffic driving by this visible spot here on the one side in the parking lot. So just doing a final garbage sweep to make sure I haven't left anything behind. I normally like to carry out as much garbage as I can that's already in a spot, but there's only so much I can do about our tire friends and old bicycles and stuff. So I'll grab what I can, and we're going to get out of here. And if you're liking these, please consider subscribing. I know I don't ask an awful lot for people to subscribe because I don't want to be annoying. But I figure if you watch this far, I may have a shot at getting you to click on that. So I'm gonna get out of here. I don't see anything else we've left behind. And the only risky part left is getting out of the woods without looking too ridiculously suspicious. So let's go. While I remember, I do get a lot of questions about 2 things: poison ivy and ticks. I live in Edmonton, Alberta, and it does get down to -40, etc. in the winter. that pretty much kills kills a lot of the ticks. There are still some out here, but it's very rare that I would come across any ticks. I've never actually had one stuck onto me in the morning, and I've done a lot of camping. So there's spots that are worse, and it's actually not bad around here, northern Alberta. And poison ivy, poison oak, that stuff doesn't grow here. It's again one of the few upsides of having such cold winters is that, you know, we don't get poison ivy, we don't get snakes, we don't get ticks. Pretty much the only spider to worry about is brown recluse, and there's not too many of them. So here we are. Oh yes, good people of the world are at work. The city is alive. Let's get out of here. Car is right where I left it, which is awesome. And it's actually shocking how light this backpack is once all the beer and food and water are out of it. It's quite the thing. It's like I've got nothing at all. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you folks next week. The river's a bit delayed because we got a lot of work to do on the boat still. So get used to a little more stealth before the river happens. Cheers, everyone.
I'm Stephanie, actor and Walmart Plus member. I'm her body double. I have Prime. I get free same-day delivery.
Which one now?
Yeah, promo a lot less than your thing.
Just because memberships look alike doesn't mean they save alike.
Who knew?
Me, Gary.
Try gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin supplement brand.
Hi guys, welcome to Camping with Steve. Challenging myself to camp with as many cleaning supplies as possible today. So I've got an assortment of stuff I'll go over here in a bit. But beautiful spot out here by the creek. It's going to be cold tonight. It will be below freezing. So gonna get the shelter set up nice and quick. I'll go over all the stuff I brought. In my bag of tricks, a little waste bin for sitting on. Candle. Another stainless steel waste bin I can use to hopefully cook on. There's a fire pit, but we're going to try to keep it as authentic and cleaning as possible. Steel wool, all-purpose clothesline. That means all-purpose, as in camping. Fly swatters, mops, paper towel, bunch of stuff. But I got to get a tent set up. It's already getting a little chilly. The sun goes down in about 3.5 hours, so I got some time to get this set up and gather some firewood. But I gotta try to make a tent out of garbage bags, and I could probably make a little ground sheet or a thermarest type thing by putting in leaves into some garbage bags as well. So it's heavy duty ones. They should do the job. All-purpose clothesline. Now, I was filming this same idea a couple of days ago, and I was trying to make a hammock, but that'll take a little more skill than I have. I know some people definitely have made hammocks out of garbage bags, but didn't work for me. Fell down, got a little scratch on me somewhere, but yeah, that was fun. So go with the foolproof method today. Gonna borrow a rock from the river here. This will work for a tent peg. Got an all-purpose mop, so that means tent pole. And just like that, anchored down to the rock on the other side, and I'll just build a little tent around it. I'm going to do 2 rocks out on an angle. I know I could have attached it to that other tree, but I don't want to get clotheslined. One of the downsides to using clothesline for this stuff is it stretches. which led to tragic outcomes for that hammock. Unless you're a spectator, then it was hilarious. Not bad, not bad. It's going to be a little cold, so keeping this thing double layer, so it'll be like a pre-season tent. Put a few of these on for now. Try to tape them together. Clothespins are aesthetically pleasing, but they're not the strongest knife in the drawer. So some packing tape on this situation will make things weather resistant, windproof, IP67 rated. Things are nicely taped up. I'm just going to do a sideways panel on each side. It should just take a couple of bags sideways, and this palace will be ready for action. A few little river rocks on the edge here. Work like tent pegs. I couldn't think of anything cleaning related that could be a tent peg, so here we are. Home, sweet home. And there you have it. For the low, low price of your dignity, you can save a few dollars on a tent that is of adequate structure. So I'm going to fill some garbage bags with leaves for a little sleeping pad so I'm not right on the ground. And just provided some extra insulation because the R value of a sheet of plastic is like -2. So we'll get this all filled up and gather some firewood and start a nice little fire here, like me. After a few handfuls, this is all full of sticks and twigs and probably ticks. So I'm just going to crumple up some paper towel and put her in here. That'll be a fine sleeping pad for me. Yeah, that works. Should stay dry. I'll probably grab a couple more rocks and stick them around the edge because the rocks and the tape are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this setup. A few other fire pits around here, so people do come down here. Nobody tonight because it's fairly cold. But it's probably also picked pretty clean of firewood. But a little bridge over there, wander across, see what we can find. Definitely a well-beaten trail here, and another campsite up here by the looks of it. Going to be grabbing a bunch of pieces of small diameter wood by the looks of it. Take a bit, but beautiful creek. Don't have to worry about water. Got a modest assembly of firewood for tonight. Shelter's all set up, and today's step 2 is I'll continue drinking my orange-flavored sports drink. Because camping isn't just about going into the woods for a sesh. It's about getting in touch with nature, cooking some food, hearing a babbling creek right beside me while you drift off to sleep. And that'll be the plan tonight. Got extra rocks around the sides of that shelter, so it shouldn't be blown away anywhere. And gonna get a fire going. I like to ration the wood as much as possible. Start it like a little bit later in the evening because if I run out of wood, it's gonna be a cold night. One of these cleaning supply things I brought with me to give some nice ambience and to get a nice smell in the air is this Lakeside Forest scented candle. It's a 3-wicker, so you know they mean business. Ah, nature. There's a million ways to start a fire with cleaning supplies. Half the stuff under the sink is going to work. But today, for safety's sake, I'm choosing hand sanitizer. It's the same basic stuff as that gel fire starter, and I'm going to be a little bit generous with it because the days of rationing this stuff are thankfully gone. And what we're going to do, start that up, is steel wool. It has to be the actual steel wool, not the stuff that has soap in it, and a battery. So this should work. Like a dream. Woo! Crackling already. That's what I like. See, I can start 10 more fires with this thing. Easy. 12 pack. 11 more fires. Excellent. I'm doing a 2-course meal tonight. I'm going to use this stainless steel waste bin and this pot, fits right in there, to cook a little soup. I was thinking a cool evening like this, I should have a soup. But a soup is hardly a meal. It's like an appetizer. So, hot dogs. Well, I'm going to need a hot dog stick. That's why we got a fly swatter. It's a little metal part here, and I should be able to rip off the swatting part. Probably put this right back on after. And yeah, we'll stick to cook hot dogs on, because every time I'm camping, no matter what meal I bring, I'm always craving some hot dogs. I'm gonna get the soup kind of started, because that can be cooked and then just sit around festering while I eat hot dogs. But and I'll see if this waste bin holds together. There's one seam on it that could prove a little tricky. But we'll keep it a reasonable little fire in this one, because it's all we got to cook the soup with. Just some chicken noodle soup, one of these packaged mix things, but I'm going to add in some real veggies and some real chicken, kind of real chicken, and just saute these veggies in there with a little bit of butter / olive oil and sea salt. The ring came off my pudding pan. What could go wrong? All right, all right. So that's something to watch out for. On the list of surprises, that's not one I was expecting. If you put the pot right in, it creates an explosive flame situation when you pull it out. So, oh my.
Nature's Bounty Advanced Hair, Skin, and Nails supplements your glow with 2 times the biotin.
Limu Limo at your service. Here to help you save hundreds by customizing your car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Probably should have gone the other way. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Summit Series was never just made for mountains. It was made for those who know the value of risk. This is 25 years of relentless pursuit.
Stop forcing ads for your forklifts on financiers. Start marketing to the right people by targeting industries and functions on LinkedIn ads.
Okay, lesson learned on that little thing. I'm just going to kind of do it like this. And when that gets down to some coals, then I'll put the soup on to kind of cook it and keep warm. With active open flame, that is a bad and dangerous situation. But it's holding together so far. It's not falling apart. The soup cooked up really good, just keeping it warm there, and time for a couple of hot dogs. And for the record, this is a brand new fly swatter. It's not a used one. I guess, you know, if you put it in the fire, you'd cook off anything that was on it anyways. So it's a good handy little tool. When they used to make those antennas on cars, you could unscrew them, the metal ones. Those used to be a good one too. Freshest buns I could find today aren't my favorites, but that's okay. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Nova Scotia. I mentioned in one video that we decided that we're keeping my mom's house in the family. So I went out there to get it ready for winter. And my mom was an amazing woman, but she was not in home improvement. So in order to get the place all insulated, get the furnace up to speed, make sure that there's not going to be any problems when it gets down to -20 this winter. Took a little bit of time to get that sorted out, and I became kind of the contractor guy, just driving around, picking stuff up, placing orders, picking stuff out, which I'm not good at anyways. So now I got some time to breathe and relax. Now I can. Right. This smells amazing. And it is. Wow. Those little soup boxes, those soup packages, it doesn't take a lot of fixing up to really make them pretty decent. Looks like it's going to be soup for breakfast, but look at this hearty, delicious soup. The wind's really picked up too, so I'm going to let the fire burn down. Keep a close eye on it too, because there's some dry leaves, etc. But oh well. So you're going to see this smoke has been doing this all evening while I've been sitting here. We'll just give it a sec, it'll move. But overall, this thing worked amazing aside from not having air holes. If it had the air holes on it, it'd be really good. The seams held up good, bottom's good, and surprise, surprise, a cheap stainless steel thing actually worked pretty good. And the tent is holding up. This little stool I've been sitting on, not so good. So these little trash bins, they're best used probably for just trash. And yeah, it's all worked pretty good here. I think the star of the show is these little hot dog roasters. These guys really did the job very wonderfully. And I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. I'm not really tired yet, but the smoke is just getting to me. Little sleeping bag, just a basic guy here on top of. This little ground mat is doing surprisingly good. By the morning, probably not, but that'll work nice. Got that set up, and now back to Firewatch. Yeah, I got a bunch of little lights hung up in the trees, so if I need to use the restroom at night, I can kind of get my orientation and see where I'm going. And I'm at that age where I will likely need to. Yeah, clearly using cleaning supplies for camping is really silly. Not very practical, but it can be done. And I hate seeing really expensive camping gear because when you're camping, it should be the cheapest, most free thing you can do, which is bedroll by a fire and a can of beans. And when I see $300 jackets and $100 backpacking tarps, like for the lightweight stuff, I know it's expensive to get good gear, but for car camper, weekend warriors, you use just about anything. That's the way I like to do it. I'm gonna wait for this to burn down. The smoke has really been chasing me around quite a lot, and there's some dry leaves around here. So, with no further ado, I'm gonna kick back, watch this fire for a bit, crawl right in and hunker down for a good, hopefully not smoky sleep. All right, the fire has burned down a little bit, and I think just about time to crawl into my little cleaning supply shelter for the night. And there's a little bit of snow coming down. Thought it was ash at first, but there's some snow particles coming down. It's all right. My 3-season tent can do the job quite nicely. So, yeah, it feels warmer in here already. And we will see you guys in the morning, and unless something cool happens at night, and in which case I will have the camera ready to roll. Once you're in the sleeping bag, it warms up quite nicely. Good morning, my frosty friends. They got a little skip of a little bit of snow last night. It was slightly below zero. This thing turned into a bit of a wind tunnel, but it could have used more tape for sure. But yeah, well, it wasn't bad. I've slept much worse than this. Could have used a little more paper towel in my sleeping pad here, but I'm gonna take this down. Move quick today. So I'm gonna return these rocks to the stream because the fire ring has enough rocks, and want to be kind to nature. This thing should come down no problem and pack up in a second. Haha! That's quicker than your ordinary tent. There's the gloves. I could have used those. There's even a bunch of leftover wood for the next fellows to come along and there's people that hike this trail. I saw one last night. So that was cool. It's always embarrassing when I'm wrapped up in garbage bags with mops and stuff. But it's good to know there's people around because there is no cell service. And if I am in trouble out here, I don't have my GPS emergency beacon with me. It would be really nice to know that people occasionally come by. But we'll wrap up the rest of this and call it a trip. Unbelievable that this thing stood up to that fire for quite a while. Perfect shape. Just needs a little polishing. Could just probably return it to the store. I won't do that though. Okay, one last little check here. Now I've got everything. I'm out of here not super early, but before all the hikers start coming along the trail and shaking their heads and wondering if I'm running from the law or something. But it was a pretty successful camp. I'd say more tape on the garbage bags. The tape and those rocks for weight are doing the heavy lifting there. So that's the weak point of the link too. We're not dealing with one solid piece of garbage bag. That would be too easy. I am feeling a little free now that I'm not dealing with that house on a full-time basis in Nova Scotia right now. I'm feeling pretty good, and you're not going to believe it. In 2 days, I got my next video I'm going to be filming. But health-wise, my shoulder, see, look at this. Much better now. Still not the funnest to sleep on this side. But that's okay. It is getting better. I was worried about that, frozen shoulder thing. Like if you do get a rotator cuff thing, you get this frozen shoulder, which requires surgery, and it's like it sounds. So things are progressing. Get my stretches in, and yeah, I'm excited about the next few months here. I got some pretty cool, neat ideas. We are back on track. Let's let the hunkering down commence. Cheers, everybody.
Lasagna?
Lasagna.
As in lasagna?
60% of cats are overweight. Feed them times healthy weight.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We are camping in an actual campground today. It's abandoned, not a solid ground. And I'm going to sleep actually right on the ground underneath of this tree without a tent. Because it worked so well last time with normal summer gear. I said, how far can I push this? So I'm going to just put a tarp down and sleep right by the fire. First things first, though, I got to bushcraft a fire. Picked up some firewood. Go. Big chunks in here. So, hopefully these big ones will light properly. That should get it going. Now your temp of steam. Okay, it looks like it's gonna go, but just to be sure, I've thrown in some garbage from the car and some of these zip fire starters. Can't go wrong with a few of them in there. And definitely want to be nice and warm in these cold weather conditions. Oh yeah. Now with the fire going, it's time for well-deserved step 2. Yum. Time of year, I don't even need a cooler. I just leave stuff out in the snow. Actually, I have to put hand warmers in my cooler to stop stuff from freezing. Neat times out here. So this will be the actual shelter is going to be this tree. And I'll just quickly set up the shelter here. All right, done. I'll just put the sleeping bag on there and sleep right by the fire, under the stars. I'm going to get dinner started simmering now because it's going to be a stew tonight. And that'll take a while to cook. So, just use your regular knife you took out of the kitchen, IKEA brand, and brown up some beef. Oil. First. The meat is brown. I just picked up one of these packages of beef stew spice mix stuff. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to throw it all into pot, get it boiling. That. Don't waste anything flammable around here. And the instructions call for 2 cups of water. That sounds gross, so I'm just going to use Guinness. Dollar store bottle opener. Don't burn your spoon. Yeah, that stirred up. When I throw in the vegetables and potatoes later, I'm just using cans of potatoes, cans of vegetables, and I'll just dump them all in. So this has got a long time to simmer. As that's simmering and cooking, I'll just briefly mention what I brought with me. A cheap tarp from Sporting Goods store here, $40 or so. Cheap sleeping bag from that same store. Maybe tire if anybody's curious, but you know that's where I do a lot of shopping. The fire starter was just a standard issue road flare from the auto department of said store. Whatever I could scrounge out of the kitchen. And this, typical folding chair. Outbound brand. It's actually broken, but works good enough. And then I just got, clothes from the thrift store on, keeping myself warm today. So while this cooks, I'll do a quick walk around before we lose our daylight, and then we are going to be eating good tonight. There is a garbage for my garbage, so that's convenient. I'm the only one here, of course. I'm just going to walk down. I think the bathrooms are locked up. I'll check. Awesome. Washrooms are open. So sadly, there is a highway right there, so there's some road noise. But I drove in looking for a spot that was further from the road, and it's not plowed, so I got a little scared, and then I just decided I'll camp right here to avoid any problems. And I'll play around with a swing set over there, should I choose to indulge later. I don't see a lot of animal tracks out here, but I did see some out on the road, so we can take a look at what we might have out here for wildlife. There hasn't been too much wildlife around here, judging by the tracks lately, But there's a lake just up there. I'm going to go peek at the lake. But that lake's a lot farther than I thought. I might just mind my stew and have another step 2. Step 3. So I tasted that. Basically, I think I got a little overboard putting that whole can of stout in there. So I had to water it down with beef broth. And kind of chuck in some onions. Let that simmer some more. And of course, throw in a little pepper. Right. And